Joining me live now is Nationals leader David Littleproud. Thank you so much for joining us. What do you make of the latest news poll results?
Yeah, thanks, Janie. And look, polls will bounce around a little bit, but the trend has definitely seen that there's now buyer's remorse of the Albanese government. All he's managed to do in just over 18 months is drive up everyone's cost of living and divide our country. And he's trying not even to talk about his $450 million referendum on the voice that basically split our country in half. So this is still a long game that we understand we're not there yet. But this year you'll see a lot of policy around how we're going to tackle the cost of living crisis that families are feeling. And when you've got a government that's not in tune with the Australian people and the pain that they're feeling, particularly at Christmas and when they get their bills and they try to send the kids back to school in the next month, they're really going to feel it. And this has unfortunately been a Canberra initiated problem, not one that's from international factors. This has been homegrown, and we just got to continue to make sure that the Australians understand that, and they're feeling it. But we've got to make sure that in the next 12 months, Australians understand that we won't be pumping more money into the economy to fix it. We'll be using policy levers that don't cost us anything, but go to the heart of what's keeping your cost of living up.
And I believe, David, you claim that Labor had badly let down Australian families before its Food and Grocery Code of Conduct review had even started.
Yeah, and look, they talked a big game in October. They're going to have a grocery code of conduct review that was going to put pressure on the supermarkets to make sure that farmers were getting equitable prices, but those prices were flowing through to the supermarket. When you've seen a 60 to 70% reduction in sheep and lamb prices, yet only an 8% reduction at the checkout, someone's cleaning up. That's the supermarkets. You look at horticulture, watermelons, they're getting paid $1 a kilogram at the farm gate, but the supermarkets are charging $4.50 a kilogram. They are cleaning up, and you need to make sure you have a tough cop on the beat. Not another review, a review that they haven't even announced someone to lead and is meant to have been done and started before Christmas. The Nationals have called very clearly for a price monitoring inquiry that could have gone to the very heart of this, could have been set up before Christmas, and in fact didn't have to wait for a review to be completed. The ACCC are the ones that have the expertise and the tools to actually look at the supermarkets, but the government has to tell them to go and do it. Instead, we've got a review with no leader of it, and then they've got another review with the Greens that doesn't start till February. The cost of living crisis was now. It's not in 2 or 3 months' time. And they've dropped the ball. They had the tools available to them. Chalmers and Anthony Albanese are out of touch and didn't understand that they had the opportunity to make this Christmas a lot easier on Australians because supermarkets are cleaning us up.
There's a story today in the Daily Telegraph, David. It talks about bosses at Australia's major public service departments. They're earning more than $900,000 a year, and that's courtesy of the latest round of pay rises. This means they are taking home a lot more than the Prime Minister. What do you think?
Yeah, and this is where we've got to get the balance right on this, Janie. We're in a competitive market of trying to get the best and brightest in the public service to look after Australians' taxpayer dollars. And so you've got to get the balance right. There's an independent authority that makes that assessment, but you're competing. And understand that these department heads are managing organisations and departments that are bigger than some of our top CEOs are managing in terms of companies. And when they're getting very significant pay, you've got to attract the best and brightest. I think there's a balance that needs to be struck here, but if we don't have a good public service, then you don't have value for money of your taxpayer dollars. So it's a competitive market. We want to make sure that it's spent properly, but we've got to have the right people administering these departments and administering your dollars. So when you look at it compared to top CEOs around the country, it's probably a fraction of what they're getting paid, but we do have a good public service. We've got good people there that obviously we've got to continue to make sure we attract and maintain in our departments rather than going to the corporate world.
We have to wrap it up, but David Littleproud, thank you so much always for your time and for your year as well. Probably won't speak to you until next week, 2024, but wishing you and your family a very happy, safe new year. It's been a tough one for so many, but we really appreciate your time.
No, thanks, Janie. Thanks for all our banter. And obviously, you fell on the wrong side again this year with State of Origin. Probably the same in 24. So can't help bad luck.
You wait, 2024, here we come. Thanks so much, David.